You're now listening to the Palmetto Dugout Show, hosted by State Director Sammy Esposito, Associate Scouts Drew Stewart and Sean Smith, that discuss all things related to amateur baseball in South Carolina. Here are your hosts.
Welcome into the Palmetto Dugout Show. We've taken a week and a half off, but this is episode 138. Just the OGs today. Coachy?
Just OG's back at it right here. Just everybody else, prior engagements, just back where it belongs. Back where it belongs right here, Yeah.
Back to the old days. Back to episode 1.
Yeah. Can we get, and we were talking about this before we went live. Can we get a sponsor of some munchies?
Munchies.
Can we get
I'll look up some munchies.
Underrated snack? The Esposito household is a fan of the munchie snack. So if Frito-Lay's, I guess I got questions or comments. I just realized we got a number here. If anybody wants to help us out with a endorsement deal, paid advertisement, whatever they're calling, we'll take that.
Coach, big show ahead here. Power 25. It's updated. It's been games for 2 weeks. Preseason tournaments have just ended as we move into the regular season. Region play getting ready to kick off very soon. But before we kind of start with the Power 25, we're gonna throw a video up for you guys. If I can get this off here. Special shout out to these guys. A little better than what we did at the Shipyard Showdown. Go ahead and share it and play it. Make sure you listen here.
Volume up. Volume up, people.
Right, number 1 at 4A, right? Number 1 at 4A, top 5 in the state.
Yes, the prep baseball.
Yes. According to Prep Baseball SC, which is without a doubt the most trusted source.
You heard it there. The most trusted source, Espo. Prep Baseball Power 25 rankings, source, everything, coverage, it all.
Coach, little old South Carolina, just like, little old PB Prep Baseball South Carolina, right? Like we've joked for years, right? This is our 5th year of doing this. Prep Baseball South Carolina been around a little bit longer, but us, year 5 doing this. We've in the past 2 weeks have knocked out 6 preseason tournaments, right? And that doesn't even talk about the amount of teams, the amount of players, the amount of coverage, right? We're not sitting here with a staff of 20, 30 workers that are running around that are covering the entire state. We're, our joke and our motto of little old South Carolina, right? Little old Prep Baseball South Carolina, going out there and try to cover in this state the best we can and try to not only watch games, but provide the best content out there to make sure we don't miss anything that happens in a game. And right, it's not just for, right, what's the word that's always out there? Content is king, right? It's not just always out there for stuff that goes on social media, but it's always stuff that we can post, but go back and watch and see and evaluate post-event as well, post-game play, to see what's really happened. So when we dive into these rankings, whether it's player rankings, whether it's team rankings, we can kind of go back and go, we've seen these teams, we've seen these players, we kind of know what's going on, and our guys across Prep Baseball South Carolina have done a tremendous job these last 2 weeks of watching and evaluating baseball teams and baseball games. Like I said, 6 tournaments. 3 last weekend when with right a heavy emphasis on the R's down in the Shipyard, and we still had other guys at other tournaments. So big shout out to our staff that is out there hustling and covering games and doing what they're doing and watching the baseball games, and being at a baseball field for 4 or 5 games. A lot of hours, a lot of time put in, and then on the back end, right, it's not just the content there, right, in the scout blogs, right? Scout blogs were out last week. Scout blogs were out, going to be out again starting tomorrow. Scout blogs about throughout the week. So it's not just we're out here winging stuff. We have a good time on this show and kind of screw around and try to have a little personality, a little character come out and shine with this. But we try to put some time and energy into this and right, it's our opinion, but we try to put some time and energy. Heck, people don't realize this, but Drew, we have multiple conversations throughout the day when we're updating these Power 25 rankings, and it's not just going, let's see who's here and pull a name out of the hat. We put some time and energy into this and try to figure this one out. And like that gentleman said in the broadcast, we try to make sure this is the best trusted source that's out there with it.
A lot of thinking goes in these, Coach. What we used to do is we rank the classifications and then we build the Power 25. So we'll get to that here. The most trusted source. These are better than Max Preps and PG. Best rankings in the country right here for the state of South Carolina. Here we go, Coach. So we got some changes here, so we'll get to it.
Right. We've talked about this before, right? We don't wait. Sometimes people go, why didn't you do it last week? Well, not everybody played. Right. So we kind of wait 2 weeks where people got underneath the belt. Last week, but a lot of people played. This week, now everybody's played. So, now it's about winning ball games. And what have you done? And hey, sometimes there's people that might not have played, might not have pitched, or maybe some injuries. It don't matter. Here we go. It's
time.
It's time.
Step up or shut up. Here we go. Let's break it down. Coming in at number 25, Batesburg, Leesville. Coach, I know you got to see them early.
Yeah, big weekend, weekend, whatever it was this past few days for them up here in Lexington at the Optera. Had 2 big wins for them. I think they went 2 and I don't even know what their final record was, but a couple big wins over some either possible previous as we dive into this Power 25 teams as we're rolling into this one, but very talented team with Braden Holman right there in the middle of the lineup, the VCU commit, but obviously a very talented team, which 2A champions last year, state champions last year, and a very deep lineup. So they're a mature lineup with guys that have done it for multiple years in there that can hang and compete with a lot of people.
Before we move to 24 here, I will tell you 2A does have some baseball players.
They do. There's some talent running around there. I don't know what anybody's thinking out there.
Me either. Moving to 24, Blythewood. They're down a little bit, but still a talented group there.
They are. We got a chance to watch them again also this weekend, and a big shock. Another Penfield rolling through there, hitting home runs. I feel like we've seen Penfields out of Blythewood hitting home runs this time. The younger one launching one off the football building out there at River Bluff. Our boy Matthew got a chance to watch him hit, but another talented deep lineup that can score runs in multiple ways. Obviously, running the ball out of the ballpark, but also Amari Counts in there. They got a different ways to kind of bludgeon you on the offensive side. So, plus a grade A coach that has won a ton of baseball games over there, Blythewood.
Watch out, Bengals. They get ready to move forward. Going to number 23, St. James, new to the rankings, a Shipyard Showdown championship game appearance. They beat a really good Fountain Inn squad, a competitive group there.
Yeah, new to the rankings. They had a big-time week for us down at the Shipyard, right? They got their way into the championship game against Oceanside and a hard-fought ball game there. Just kind of ran out a little bit their steam at the end and lost to a great team in Oceanside. But they were in and out of the rankings, I feel like, all of last year. And hopefully, for their sake, they're going to be looking to stay in it this time all the way through. But another talented, deep lineup with a bunch of older guys that have been playing a lot of baseball for a long time with a bunch of, guys that can do a bunch of things with the bat, right? They got some power. They got the Kessler brothers had a big weekend for them. Both those guys are on the all tournament team. So they got guys that can bunt. They scored all different kinds of ways for us, right? They drive the ball around the park. They squeeze bunt. They can, they kind of did it all. And also they got some guys on the mound that can do a bunch of different things with Frank Pepe on the, the beginning of it, kind of pitchability lefty that can, screw you into the ground.
Sharks. 22, we're going to go another new team here. Coach Dyers got the boys rolling with the Vikings early this year. I'm just a big fan of Dyer. Union County, he spent some time running through with the Richburg Rocket. But the Vikings here making an appearance.
Yeah, again, they've off to a hot start, right? I feel like they're one of these teams that I feel like they've played 15 games in the first 2 weeks, and they've got some big time bats in that lineup. Talking about a lineup that can bludgeon you. I mean, they feel like they got some power bats up and down that entire lineup. So Spartanburg off to a hot start, and you better bring your A game when you come to the park on the mound with that lineup that they're going to be rolling out there.
That was an Austin sleeper, Coach.
It was.
Not sleeping anymore.
They ain't sleeping, boy.
We moved to number 21. Hartsville up from 28. Another big week for them. A team that's always consistently right there in the mix.
Yeah, Hartsville, them boys, they always got something rolling down there in that neck of the woods. They're a bunch of tough nut guys that just battle you and fight you and scrap and claw, and they're always kind of hiding in the weeds right there, right? Nobody really talks about them. Next thing you notice, they're just creeping their way up there, and they're doing it again, right? We just had them on the outside looking in, and next thing you notice, 2 weeks into the season, and they've crept their way in the Power 25. But these are another bunch of guys in this lineup that I feel like we've seen them play baseball for about 8 years in high school. Just they've had a lot of starters in that lineup that have been starting for 3+ years in high school. So a very experienced, talented lineup up and down, and they're just a bunch of guys that just know how to win.
Talking about a group that knows how to win at 20 Ainer. They continuously win every year, Coach. They're down a spot. However, they're still there. A good start to the year for them.
Yeah, and obviously they got the mix of some youth along with some older guys, right? Uber talented young guys on that roster, and but it's going to be a tough team for them down there in the beach area, rolling around there. Maybe we'll get out there at the back end of this week. We'll have to check on some stuff, see if we can get down there to see them. But we'll keep our fingers on cross it. But they got that good mix of youth and older players. So it's one of those where you never want to get too young, so they'll always kind of rotate those guys coming through there. But Ainer, watch out.
Another new team to the mix, Coach. You saw them early. Malden, I know you're high on them.
Yeah, Malden. I mean, I think we were high on Malden going back right into the fall when we did the scout day with those guys. We kind of sat there and go, it might be the pick to click up there in that upstate, and getting a chance to watch those guys over the past few days here at the Optera. The senior lefty, Zelinknik, if I said his name right, very polished left-handed arm. Coker Crocker came in after him, College of Charleston commit. Right, they got depth in that lineup. They got guys that can lead the yard. They got young guys. They got some older guys. It's a very Coach Korn's got himself a talented group up there in Malden, and they're kind of fun to watch. They kind of get after it. They play the right way, and again, they scored runs in different ways. They left the yard, small ball, kind of did a lot of different things. And they got a middle infield that can really play. They got those two guys in the middle can really pick it, and they're just fun to watch play.
So Coach Korn has them doing rest of your loaded region there. 4D up to number 18 from 24, another talented team.
Yeah, they're another group that we've been watching for a while. 4 years ago, they're in the Shipyard Showdown, and we were kind of joking, like, who's this guy at second base? This guy looks pretty good freshman, and ends up being Banks Wickersham. And, right, 4 years later, one of the top players in the state and also in the country, College of Charleston commit, but doing it with the bat, doing it on the arm as well. I think this weekend down at Coastal Invitational, he's 88-91 on the mound, but also, did some good things with the bat. They got another lineup and got some pitchability guys. We saw a bunch of those guys at some scout days also this fall and a bunch of our events as well. So new coach over there this year, but kind of got them going in the right direction. But Fort D, that's tough region, tough area down there for those guys to come out of. But that's going to be a tough team to battle coming out of there.
Very tough. As we move to 17, probably going to ruffle some feathers here at 17, and we'll talk about it a little bit. Southside Christian down from number 3, Coach. Rough week at the Classic. However, there is a silver lining ahead.
Yeah, big fall. Some people are going to go, why'd they fall so bad? One weekend, how are you going to drop them? So, it happens when you lose, right? We talk about it all the time. You start playing. Or some people go, they should be out of the whole top 25. They hadn't Power 25. They didn't win any game. They didn't do anything. Well, Carson Bowman hasn't gotten on the mound yet, right? He's scheduled to start pitching here, and I think in 10 or so days. So you getting your ace onto the mound, not back. He's not hurt. He's just how they're progressing him into the season. So he's going to be scheduled to throw here in the next few weeks, 2-3 weeks, whatever it is. So they're going to kind of get their team set and rolled how they're going. Plus, let's be honest, the field, the schedule they had to play down there at the Classic was not very favorable to many teams to come out of there, very successful. But at the end of the day, the Power 25, now that the season started, it's about wins and losses, and they kind of started off on the wrong end of those wins and losses. So we're sometimes you got to fall, but they also have a feeling they're going to be going the other as we continue on with this Power 25.
Hopefully, they go back up. We'll see. Who knows? The hometown of the best Arby's in the country at Clinton up a spot to 16. Good showing at the Emerald Classic.
Yeah, I mean, Luke Young obviously off to a hot start with the bat, right? And we'll get into this later with some power, what he's got going on over there with the home runs. But it is just not just the Luke Young show. They got a very talented lineup and arm strength in there. So here's the question I got about Clinton. Every time we talk about them or anything, does whoever we got listening to us, do they ever go, what the hell are they talking about this damn Arby's? Who are they ever going? What are they talking about? That damn Arby's or that Zaxby's and if you don't know, just
know.
Just know.
You don't know, no. Okay. Hey, how about this one? New to the Power 25. They jumped all the way out to the top 15. 15 Burns, a team we've seen a lot very recently, but they continue to impress.
Yeah, we've gotten a chance to watch them quite a bit, and it's a
hey. But Luke Young commented, says, "Don't hate on the Arby's."
Luke, y'all, you got something invested in that Arby's? What we got going on? Because I know me and Drew have both separate occasions have been in there, and it has taken us an hour to order a damn Arby melt or whatever you order there. The hate is real. That's why it's an automatic Zaxby's, a Sensation Salad or whatever it's called. But yeah, we'll roll on to Burns here. We've gotten a chance to watch them quite a bit here recently, and we've said, I feel like we've said this a little bit about some of these teams, but athleticism and the depth in that lineup and the ability to score some runs, it's a fun group to watch. They're gonna give some people fits, and obviously some arm strength and some pitchability there as well. So Burns, they got a good group.
Watch out!
And as long as they don't have to hit up that Arby's, they'll be all right.
That's exactly right. Big week here for North Augusta, up to 14. Coach, they win the Emerald Classic.
They do, and I think we're gonna be watching them boys tomorrow night. We'll get to that here in a little bit, but. We've been high on them. I mean, obviously that portal was good to those guys this year, and right, they got some high end seniors, they got some good underclassmen. North Augusta, some people, they're going to be making some noise, and they've already started off on the right foot. So we're gonna get a firsthand look at those guys.
See them soon. Moving to number 13, Airport stays at 13. Again, a good start to the year. A team that's consistently there.
It's one of those things with the Eagles. It's about an automatic dub. You almost go, maybe we should just put them at like in the top 5 every time we do the Power 25 because they ain't gonna lose. I don't know. We probably rank them too low, undervalue them. It's kind of incredible what they got going on. But they do it, and the pitchability, they do it with how they play the game, the small ball, they'll leave the yard. It's they just win, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Just win, baby. Just win. Number 12 up 10 spots, Catawba Ridge, a 4-0 start to the year. We saw them early at Shipyard. Didn't make it to the championship game based off runs allowed, but they are.
Yeah, good, really good pitching staff. Coach Stoss had it set up to throw Bryce Mill on Monday, not just to set it up for the championship, but to set up how he wanted his pitching set for the whole, how his year or whatever he was going to play out with that one. But very deep pitching staff up there at Catawba Ridge. The one thing I think we had kind of talked about with him, but we've talked about it before, you knew the pitching staff was going to have some depth in there. You just didn't know how the offense was going to kind of play itself out. And they got an athletic bunch. They got guys that can run around and do multiple things with the bats, and some seniors stepped up over the weekend when we were there, plus some younger guys. And they were a fun group to watch get after it. And it's kind of tough. You sit there and go 3-0 and you don't even get in the championship game, but I think one or two runs was a separator from keeping them out of it, but that showed how well the pitching was down there at the Shipyard. But it's a very talented group up there at Catawba Ridge.
Again, there they are. They'll see if they keep staying
They're
there.
always there. Ain't no sleeping up there. I'll tell you that one.
Yeah, we're done sleeping. At number 11, Seneca stays the same. They finished 2-2, but again, coach, they're not going to fall because of the teams they lost to.
Yeah, they're gonna be a problem in that 4A. They're gonna be with obviously they had a no-hitter from Vassy, and along with he hit a home run, I think, as well. He had a little Palmetto power going on out there. So very deep pitching staff. And then, a little, they had the 6'7" William Russell coming in. Was his third starter going 86, 87, 85, 87 out of the 6'7" frame as your third starter. Whoops. So very deep pitching staff along with a very talented offensive group. So Seneca, your neck of the woods, I'm sure you'll see them soon, even though we just watched them for a few days, 3 days. But they're going to be, whoever's got them in 4A coming out of there, going to have their hands full.
They got a big series coming up in about 2 or 3 weeks. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that eventually, 2-3 weeks down the road. However, number 10, Boiling Springs, with a big jump. They're off to a really hot start. Talk
about that offense. I mean, the amount of runs being scored by them to start off the year was incredible. And the amount of runs that were not scored against them is equally as impressive. So, the way they shot out of the gate, obviously is one of the more impressive starts to the year across the state. And obviously how the rankings panned out here for them is kind of proving what their start did. And hopefully they'll continue that run on. But it's one of the more impressive things that they did in a talented preseason tournament over the course of, I felt like that tournament went on for about 6 weeks, but a long tournament for them. But the way they started off with the bats, and then obviously on the pitching staff, keeping the runs down as well. A lot of the times, as we all know, it don't matter if it's high school or college, usually you score a bunch around. It seems like they're giving them up as well, or vice versa. And this one, it's score a bunch and don't give up any also. Very impressive start.
They've shown the ability to win in multiple ways, which is a big thing early in the year. Number 9, North Myrtle is going to stay the same at 9, but again, another hot start for them again.
Arm talent galore. I mean, they throw as much arm talent as on a team as a lot of these that can be out there in this state. I mean, there are 3 guys. They got 2 26s that started that were mid to upper 80s, touching 90s, and then they got their 28 was their 2 starter that was a mid to upper 80s as well, and then they also threw, I think, a 2030 or whatever he was today in their championship game. I mean, that's a very
that sounds weird.
That was a very talented player. So it's oh, and by the way, Caden Lanks hitting home runs. I mean, they got a talented one of our, top ranked players in the 28 class. I mean, they got a very, very talented group. So they're looking to continue to cause a big stink down there at the beach.
Every year. Just
pencil them in at 2, pencil them in as well. Not at 2, but as well.
Number 8, Fountain Inn. They fall down from number 4. Coach Rowland's going to give us he's going to give us a pat on the back for this. He's loving this. However, Coach, you go back and you just talked about arm talent with North Myrtle. The Fury, they told us they couldn't hit. Last year, they could hit. This year, they got the pitching.
Yeah, I mean, right. Game 1, Braden Passmore started, and it's like watching. I mean, right, we're down there at the shipyard. We're bouncing back and forth. You guys were calling the game of the week. I'm bouncing back and forth. And every time I'd walk over to his game, it didn't matter where the catcher set up. He would dot it up. It didn't matter what pitch it was. Right? Incredible, right? Mid to upper 80s. I think he was up to 89. Great slider, right? And then you roll into Parker Davis in game 2. And Gray Collegiate came off a great win the night before, beating another Division I, Ashley Ridge, beating Braxton Sherrouse in a great game. And then they get to face him, and he was just dominant, right? Up to 91. They ended up no-hitting him. And then their third starter, right, Wilson, correct me if I'm wrong on that game, was that the third game? And he was mid-80s. I mean, like, it's kind of a embarrassment of talents that they got going on up there. So coaches, Coach Rowland, Coach West, no pressure for the boys up there in 4A. There's a lot of good teams, but they're going to keep saying they can't hit, as always. They said it last year. But they'll find a way. I think they scored a bunch of runs in their game this week. So they're going to find ways to score and do stuff. Tough, opening weekend at the shipyard. The wind was kind of blowing in, wasn't always great conditions to hit. So them boys will get it rolling.
They always do. Moving to 7, Oceanside, the Shipyard Showdown, back-to-back champs this year. Coach, the talent there doesn't wow you, but when you put it all together, it's a good group.
Hey, talking about pitching, game 1, no-hitter, combined no-hitter. Game 2 at the Shipyard Showdown.
6 and like a
6
2/3.
and 2/3 and 2 strikes. And gave up a jam job single, I believe it was, 2 strikes in the hitter. I know it was at least 6 and 2/3, but almost back-to-back no-hitters for these guys. Very impressive pitching staff up and down the board. Depth from game 1 starter all the way through from, young guys to old guys. The offense, right, you kind of see them, and they didn't score a ton of runs over the weekend for us, but you can kind of see that athleticism, how you can kind of have some success. And also it's early, right? When you got a bunch of guys you're trying to fit in, and Coach Reams, you can kind of see him trying to plug this guy and plug that guy and try to figure it out. But it's got a bunch of talented athletic players in there, and where they're going to play, they'll have time to figure that one out. But that's usually a good problem to have when you got a lot of guys to plug in there. But the one thing that's going to keep them in every single one of their games, they're going to be able to pitch. So they'll be in there and they can kind of figure out some things, but they did it. And then in the championship game, right, Cade Griffith, he wound up winning the MVP for us. He got the big hit, but a couple other guys got big hits, but he made the big defensive plays. So they can do it on the defensive side as well.
They just do it, baby.
All they do is win. Big shock.
We're going to stay on the collegiate side here. Atlantic Collegiate at 6. Now, they did drop a spot. However, that's not due to their results. That's due to some people that jumped up in there. But, again, they've only played one so far, Coach. But, again, it goes back to that preseason ranking. Very talented group. And the schedule sets up nicely for them. Yeah,
I mean, some people are going to roll in there, and you're just going to get an abundance of talent getting launched at you left and right. So it's we'll see how a coach down there kind of figures that one out. But the talent level down there at Atlantic Collegiate's kind of scary this year. So see if as their logo, they got a great logo, by the way. See if they'll be firing in all cylinders up there.
That's the U.S. warship on the way to Iran.
I think it's already been there.
Their armada. They're ready. Let's hope they don't get drafted into the war here. That's the only way they fall out of the top 25. We move to the top 5 here. Here we go. At number 5, AC Florida with a big week at the Classic. Coach Espo didn't want to give too much hype early, but screw it. They're here. They're in the top 5 now. Big win over James Island early in the year.
Big weekend for the boys here in the real capital city here from Florida. I mean, it was impressive week for those guys. I know they ran into a buzzsaw Dorman today, but we had some people pleading to tell them to keep us down in the rankings, but too late now. You shouldn't have won so many damn games and beaten some really good teams. But right, we had a couple former future gamers and senior future gamers lighting it up with the bat. And the one thing I think on paper, I think we all thought they were going to be able to score runs, and you're like, well, who's going to pitch? Who's going to be the guys? Because right when you lose a Carter Harrington, who's all of a sudden now Kyle Charleston's Friday guy, who's going to step up? And they've all kind of stepped up, right? Multiple different arms with different arm slots. And that's one thing, right? Coach Howard, we always knows does. They got different arm slots and different guys. And right, they threw a freshman yesterday, that lefty that was up to 84. And they threw a freshman again today. And they got a bunch of young guys. And we know they got a talented 28 class. And, it's big shock. That's why Coach Howard's got 7 state championships under his belt. He knows how to win and win games at a high level. So, sorry, Flora. The only way you guys fall now is if you guys tank games and lose them. But you guys are, I would assume, at this rate, after seeing what y'all did this weekend, y'all are going to be here to stay for a while.
Be careful, Coach Howard. Moving to 4, here they are. The Daniel Lions filling the tank. They are up a few spots here. They do have a loss on the year, and we'll get to that little rematch game here shortly. But another really talented team.
Coach, on that pain train up there, huh?
All aboard.
I mean, we've talked about depth, right? I mean, he was a future gamer for another state, but Spilliard's hitting home runs, right? We've had a junior future gamer now, then he became a super sophomore, and Schnabel, the high end 28, having a big day the other day with the multiple extra base hits and the home run. I mean, it's Liam Purcell, on the. I mean, they got a very that 4A boy. Watch out now. I mean, whew.
Might be a little top heavy, but
it don't matter. It's something.
It's something.
But
starting something.
We starting it now. We're gonna let's do a. Whew.
Coach, speaking of who that loss was for Daniel, we're gonna move to 3. Here we go. Here they are, the Hillcrest Rams at number 3. Humongous start to the year for Hillcrest. I know we were high on them. A lot of talent on that team. Coach Ramsey's got them rolling early.
Yeah, we got a chance to watch them. Speaking of one of the 6 preseason tournaments we got a chance to see. We got a chance to watch them at the RBI last week or a couple weeks ago, whatever you say now. I mean, a very, very deep pitching staff. When you have a guy who's your 3rd starter or whatever he was, throwing 87, 89, that kind of tells you all you need to know. And by the way, he hits home runs also with the bat and Drolamic. They got guys that can run. They got guys with power. They got a deep pitching staff. And I think some of us picked them as their champ, preseason state champ. Some of us did. Maybe I don't know who those guys were, but some of us did. But they're obviously off to a very hot start, and maybe we'll get a chance to see them again here soon. We'll talk about that here soon.
We'll see here shortly. Let's go to your top 2. Here they go. Number 2, James Island falls off number 1. We are going to have a new number 1 team now. James Island does have that L, and some people say, "Oh, you got to fall farther." Nope. Still a very talented team and a very good tournament.
Yeah, it's not like they didn't win any games or got run out of the world. I mean, it's still an uber talent. I mean, I think last year they did the same thing, right?
Yep, they did the same thing.
The exact same thing down there, and so obviously very talented. They got some guys that have stepped up on the pitching staff down there and making moves. And obviously the kind of the superstars and we all know about with Taj and Tripp, but then also, they got the football player Dantzler down there that they go 3-1 and lost to the one person they lost to was Flora, we just talked about, in a tight game. So obviously not going to make a big drop with those guys, but they did it last year, and you expect them to kind of be right there in the mix again for the championship.
Every year. We'll move to one. Now, we were robbed of a matchup. AC Flora, you screwed us up. Here we go at number one. Dorman Cavaliers, the classic champions, beat a good Seneca team, beat a good Flora team. That's why they're number one, and the talent there is unmatched as of right now.
I mean, right. Connor Wells, you're number one. Right. Brennan New is going to ultimately be your number two. He ended up throwing today. He had dealing with some flu issue going on, sickness going on. So he backed his start up a little bit. But you also got Palmer Hornick, right? Right. Wells and Hornick were both future gamers. And it's just you got Carter Nash, one of the top 29s in the country. I mean, it's the depth. Oh, right. Logan McGarity. He was a junior future game alum back in the day. He was 85 to 88 the other day as your third starter. I mean, it's a very talented group for Coach Jolly up there at Dorman, and it's going to be a tough team to beat. And, obviously nobody beat them this weekend, and the very talented groups of teams that they played down there. So we'll see if they
had the arm talent. The question was kind of the hitting, but you got States Far leading off the lineup as a really good hitter who we've had junior future alum, but the lineup has proved to be efficient there at the Classic.
Right. Yeah. And I forgot to even mention States Far. I mean, I had some people kind of tell me, like, from up and down the weekend, he was the most consistent hitter for them. And we all know what Palmer Hornick is. States Far can run, can do some things with the bat that a lot of people can't. I mean, it's a dangerous lineup. I mean, right, they're looking at it right here. They score 5 the first night against Seneca. They score 13. They score 9. They score 6 in a rain-shortened game or lightning-shortened game today. I mean, it's a lineup that's going to be able to put up big power numbers that can run around the bases, do some things. And they gave up 2 runs on the weekend. 2. So, obviously, you don't need to score a lot of runs when in 4 games you only give up 2. And my math, I mean, I'm not the smartest human being in the world, but I do know that.
That's all that matters. Coach, Power 25 is locked for another 2 weeks here, and we'll see what changes go on in that. Classification ranks will be out soon. You'll be able to see those. Subscription, right?
Yep. Yeah, they'll all start rolling out, right? We'll release the Power 25 story again. It'll go out tomorrow, and then we'll get the classifications rankings will go out through the week. So we'll probably start running those Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We run those.
Speaking of that, new this year is another leaderboard. So we can say, here we go. Your Palmetto Power leaderboard. We have a heat sheet for the pitchers. Now we've got our Palmetto Power. Now, the only way you get on this board is if you use that hashtag or it's seen in person with the hashtag Palmetto Power. But Luke Young leads the way with 4 homers. Then we got a group of guys tied at 2, and then a bunch of guys at 1 that we hadn't put on the graphic because that'd be way too many. But, Coach, home runs early.
A lot of Palmetto Powers floating around, in the great state of South Carolina. Yeah, we talked about this last year, and I feel like it took off, right? Like the Palmetto Power stuff kind of took off a little bit, and it's still rolling. And I felt like before we even started talking about it again, we were getting kind of tagged in a lot of these, in some of these preseason scrimmages. But yeah, you tag us in your home run, tag us and hit the hashtag, right? Don't forget to tag us, because right, we get a ton of notifications. If you just don't tag us and you hit that you hashtag that Palmetto Power, it might get lost in the shuffle of the Twitter universe. But also, when we're at a game and we see one, we're going to obviously put the hashtag Palmetto Power in there. But, right, it's just try to show you guys a little bit of love. Let you guys know in there. We'll get that heat sheet, and we've been trying to pump out some Palmetto whiffs as well that are going in there, but try to give you guys a leaderboard, some love on that Palmetto Power rolling with it.
Make sure to use that hashtag.
Yeah, use that hashtag. Luke Young, boy, he's trying to knock over that damn Arby's with the Palmetto Power.
Be careful, Coach. They love that Arby's around there.
That's why he's got so much Palmetto Power.
They love that Arby's. Be careful. Now we'll look to coverage this week. If we can get that pulled up here. Got a lot of stuff to share, Coach.
We got a lot of action going
on around here. Okay, your weekend review. In terms, we may have another extra game in there, but these four are kind of locked in. Spearman will be at Man taking on Easley, albeit Daniel taking on Hillcrest, Espo, Dutch Fork, BC. Coach is going to be up there eating food. And Sean will be North Augusta and Legion early.
Yeah, big week. We'll get Sean will start off tomorrow up there at Legion. We got Landon Jones on the bump for them boy North Augusta. So Legion maybe Saturday on the mound. I don't know. We'll see, but we'll be able to see those guys early up there playing at Winthrop. Medeiros on the mound for BC. I told his dad they better pitch the offing, not walk him. So we'll get to see some Dutch Fork with a talented offense. So, and then, you guys will be roaming around up that upstate up there. And possibly hopefully another game or two as well we'll add into this mix later on in the week too. We'll see what we got going on.
Big games right there, Coach.
Yeah, we got some big games floating here. And then obviously, right, the coverage, right, as we all know, it doesn't just stop at the coverage, right? The next days, the scout blogs come out. You get to read up on the game. Let me rephrase that. You get to read up on the players that stood out, right? If you want to go see what happened at the scoreboard, you just pull up the Game Changer. You know what happened there. But when you want to read up on the prospects, the players that stood out, click that blog, see what happened.
So with that being said, let's look at the games of the week, game of the week, and the series of the week. Espo doesn't know the series of the week. Okay, hold on. We got a comment right here from Patrick. Which state has the better Power 25? North Carolina or South Carolina? Patrick, you know the answer to that.
Patrick, you know that answer.
Patrick's
over the hashtag starting something. He knows the deal.
Yeah, he already knows. That's why he watches our show.
Because he got booted off the other show.
Yeah. It's okay, Patrick. We'll let you join sometimes. Let's move to it. Your game of the week for the entire week. Here it is. Daniel will take on Hillcrest on Wednesday at 6:30. We got a top 5 matchup. Hillcrest won on Saturday against Daniel. It was at Daniel, 11-4, I believe. However, big matchup here. Going to be some big arms on the mound. We'll see who exactly that is, but a lot of talent running around the field for this game.
Yeah, big matchup, right? Not too often do you get a top matchup like this. So it'll be a fun one. It's supposed to have a beautiful night for some baseball. So we'll get rolling right here.
Coach, and with the game of the week comes your predictions. We don't have Austin's and Sean's yet, so we'll get those on the graphic when we get them. So, Espo, I'll let you go first. I know you pick.
I'm sticking with the boys from Who won the other day, you said?
Hillcrest.
Yeah. Do they do it 2 in a row? I'm doing with it. I'm sticking with Hillcrest. I'm gonna go 8-2.
Ooh, it's not close. I'm going Daniel. Got to go Daniel. I think they split the series here in a big matchup and give Hillcrest their first loss of the year. We'll see who's on the mound. It'll be interesting. I'm sure that crowd will be a little rowdy early at Hillcrest. Be a big one. We'll have 17 cameras going. per usual, like we always do. Now, Your series of the week, Coach. This one, you hadn't seen this.
I hadn't seen this one. This is going to be breaking news to me.
A 2-game series, okay? Really good series. Let's throw it up there. Here we go. Your series of the week, Burns takes on Spartanburg, number 15, and gets number 22, two newly ranked teams in the Power 25. This is a big one.
This is huge. This is big early on in the season right here. This is some big high-level action. Who we going with here, Coach? Who do you think is going to pull this one out?
You only got options here. You got to we used to talk about splits taking
split. Yeah, we're going.
Burns has the arms. Spartanburg's got the offense. Who prevails early? I think the Vikings prevail with the offense early in the year. So give me Spartanburg wins both.
Just because you took Spartanburg's, I'm going with Burns.
I knew you would. We don't do splits. Yeah. Austin's going to call
splits. 100%. If Scene was on here, for you guys that don't know, the Esposito family calls him Scene and not Sean. He would have gone split. And also the Esposito family, not only they act like Fiend, the song Fiend is playing, and they chant Scene, Scene, Scene. So when they see him. So
it's a good replacement word. Coach, big week ahead. That's what we have there. Hey, we've got Player of the Week coming. Diamond Notes coming.
Yeah. If we got any coaches on here, we got any players or parents or anything, remind the coaches, right? Tonight, the email is going out for coaches to nominate their Player of the Week, Pitchers of the Week. Plus, you'll get a reminder email tomorrow morning regarding that, right? We didn't start it last week because not everybody has played. Now everybody has already started. So you're going to get that email, fill that form out, right? Fill it out. Even if you think maybe somebody might not be worthy enough of being the player, the pitcher of the week, we also do the Diamond Notes. So, right, we'll get the Player of the Week will go out on Tuesday, and then the Diamond Notes will go out on Thursday. So the Diamond Notes is basically the best of the rest, right? So we'll have the Player of the Week and then the Pitcher of the Week, and then everybody else that the coaches nominated them will go in there and get the love for them. So fill that form out. You can fill it out. You can put all your team on there if you want. We're the purpose of both of those stories is to give the love to the players that did some things for the programs throughout the week or this past week or weekend. So fill that form out, take you 5 minutes and throw some stats on there of the guys, and we'll take care of the rest and do everything else to try to publicize them and give them the love they deserve.
There you go. Most trusted source.
Yeah. And then on Thursday, we'll come out with a heat sheet.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Hey, time out. Heat sheet. These are games we have been to.
With our guns.
Let's make sure. With our guns. So let's make sure we get that one. So if Drew's at a game, now Drew used to have the hottest gun in east of the Mississippi.
Coldest gun.
Now he's got the coldest gun east of the Mississippi. But if we were at a game and you throw 88 and somebody else has a gun and has you at 89 or 90, we are going off what our gun says. So our stalker radar guns, we're going off that. Same thing. If you were pitching at another game and your dad or your coach or whoever else has a radar gun out there, and we were not there, it doesn't matter. So we have to make sure that we are at the game. So this is anything we're at. So to this point in time, the 6 games we were at will go into this 6 preseason tournaments, not 6 games, 6 preseason tournaments we've been at this point. We'll go in there on Thursday. And to be honest with you, along with Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays games should go into that heat sheet. So again, it's based off what we got going on.
That's right.
Not what somebody else's radar gun says.
Even if they're standing beside us.
Correct.
Sean said the Gamecocks are at 5-1. If you want to update people, we don't care, Sean. You lost the game that mattered. That's why Sean didn't join us. Coach, you got anything else to add here before we end this sucker?
No, not really. It's just, now we're in the thick of it, right? The high school games, the high school coverage. We're rolling. It's a good time. Try to get out there and see as much as we can. When we come out, don't be afraid to talk to us. Say hello.
If I want to talk.
If we want to talk. Concession report.
Yeah, that'll be getting ready to get underway here soon.
We're going to get ready. So if you got a good concession stand, you got a good restaurant in your area, let us know when we release where we're coming.
Right.
I ain't afraid to sit down the sidelines and eat some good food with some good fans of the program.
We know you will, Brooklyn Casey. D-Bet Dave's going to be hollering at you, and you over there just filling up your tummy.
Well, don't offer me a fillet and some shrimp,
I'm coming next time. Screw this.
What do you want me to do?
That's going to be game of the year.
What do you want out of me?
They'd be playing C.A. Johnson. I'm still going, oh, Coach, I forgot.
What we got?
Oh, shit. Guys, we got one more thing to add here before we get off this thing.
Oh, jeez.
For all the people, I don't know how to do this.
We forgot to also give Sean a birthday shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Sean. Birthday. Sean went to this game. That for his birthday, he go right here. How about this, Coach?
Oh, God.
It is no longer baseball season, boys. It is football season for Lake Marion and King Street.
Yeah. Game of the year.
King Street missed the extra point to make it a 10-point win. But, Coach, they went for 2 in the 5th inning and kicked a field goal to get 11. It was 8-3. I mean, we got a safety in the 3rd inning. Okay, let's talk about this. Coach, each team had more errors than they did hits. I mean, that was a fun game, Coach. Think about us and our cameras in that game.
What? You wouldn't have to film anything because they didn't get no hits.
Coach. I mean, that's
a lot of errors.
Guys. That's football.
A lot of penalties.
If I go to a game like that, I'm walking out in the 1st inning.
It was a good game in the 1st inning. It was 33.
Wonder when the errors happened. Is that the 5th inning when there was 11 spots up?
Coach.
We're going to send Austin to that one.
Austin and Scene are heading out.
Yeah. Austin, you're going to go to a game. 22 errors. I'd start eating the concession stands and drinking.
Open up the cooler in the car.
I'm done, guys. I'm out. I'm just going to sit here and be a fan for a minute. See how this ends up.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I told Drew. I told you this the other day. If I was coaching that game, I'd have left.
I wouldn't return. In other news, Sean went Daniel. Austin goes Hillcrest. Sean goes Burns to win the 2-game series, and Austin goes with the split.
Yep, Austin split.
Shocker, Austin. You're so trying to be safe.
Can I have an appearance?
Here, my daughter wants to make an appearance as we're about to.
Hi.
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 There she went. She's gone.
She out.
She's gone.
She gone.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. So you'll look to see us around the park this week and give us some free Diet Colas. We'll have a good time.
Or give us hell for our Power 25.
Yeah, it's okay. We like controversy, or Drew does, one of the two.
I'm gonna end up in some controversial situation this year. Like every year. It's okay though.
Yeah, it's good.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
So hey, we'll wrap this baby up. We'll see you now. We've moved this thing back to Sundays now, so we'll see you next Sunday. So from all of us here at Prep Baseball South Carolina, we hope you have a great week.